Good morning, children. Today is my lecture 4 of solid state chemistry. In this lecture, we will do characteristics and structures of different types of crystalline solids. Topics that covered so far. In lecture 1, we have done definition of solids and its different types, isotropy, anisotropy, difference between crystalline and amorphous solids, unit cell parameters, calculation of atoms per unit cell. And lecture 2, we have covered packing fraction and density, coordination number and its calculation, calculation of coordination number of simple cubic, face-centered cubic and body-centered cubic system, packing in 2 dimensions, and numericals for finding out the formula of a compound. And last lecture, that is lecture 3, we have covered packing in 3 dimensions. As I told you, in this lecture, we shall study characteristics and structure of different types of crystalline solids. Crystalline solids are classified according to their properties and structure into 4 categories: molecular solid, ionic solid, covalent solid, and metallic solid. In this lecture, along with some examples, we will study the structure and properties of different types of solids. First, we will start with molecular solids. In molecular solids, the constituent particles are molecules that you all know. These are held together by weak van der Waals force. These forces are electrostatic in nature and are much weaker than the valence bond force. Because of this weak intermolecular binding force, the properties of molecular solids are quite different from other types of crystalline solid. Example, ice, dry ice, that is solid CO2, solid methane, naphthalene, all are the example of molecular solids. Characteristics of molecular solids. These are usually soft. They possess low melting and boiling points. These are volatile with relatively higher vapor pressure. They possess low heat of fusion. These are less soluble in polar solvent. They are poor conductors of heat, and as they are bad conductor of electricity, they act as insulator. About the molecular solid, these are the characteristics of molecular solid. Now, dry ice or solid CO2 is the example of molecular solid. Dry ice or solid CO2 has a cubic lattice. CO2 molecules are held together by weak van der Waals force. See the structure of solid CO2. See, in all the corners CO2 molecules are present, and in the face also CO2 molecules are present. See, this is, now the grey one is the C and red one are the oxygen. So they are held together in this way. CO2, CO2, CO2 everywhere. In the corner also, in the faces also. Now they are held together by weak van der Waals force. These forces are so weak that CO2 passes from solid to gaseous state at 195 Kelvin. Now this is the structure is the cubic lattice of solid CO2. Ionic solid. In ionic solid, you can understand very well that the constituent particles are positively and negatively charged ion. These positively and negatively charged ion, they held by Coulombic force. the interparticle bond in ionic in nature. The interparticle bond is ionic in nature. Ions in the crystal lattice are packed in a definite geometric arrangement in 3 dimensions. Now, this arrangement depends upon the size of the positive and the negative ion present in that ionic crystal. And this is giving you a new concept that is known as radius ratio. We will discuss this in the following slides. What is radius ratio? And what is their action? What is the importance of radius ratio in this solid state? Examples: NaCl, KCl, LiF. You can understand all these are ionic crystal. NaCl, Na plus, Cl minus. BaSO4, Ba2 plus and SO4 2 minus. So these all are ionic crystals. They are having positive and negative charges present. Characteristics of ionic solids. Ionic solids are hard and brittle due to strong interionic force of attraction. They possess high melting and boiling points. These are low volatility materials and high heat of fusion. They possess high density. They are usually soluble in water and other polar solvents, but almost insoluble in all non-polar solvents. That is organic solvent. It is not dissolved in organic solvent. These are poor conductor of electricity in solid state, but you know that they are good conductor in molten or aqueous state. Types of ionic crystal. We can have different types of ionic crystal, mostly AB type and AB2 or A2B type. See, these are the ionic crystal: NaCl, NaCl, CaCl2, K2O. Now you can understand that this is type of AB. This is AB2 and this is A2B. These are the 3 types of ionic crystals available. Now, ionic crystals are classified into 2 types. Based on relative number of positive and negative ions. First is AB type. You can see that it is AB type of crystals. NaCl, KCl. This NaCl is in your portion. We will study about it. Then here AB2 and A2B type, that is CaF, MgCl2, Na2O, all these are coming under this category. These are the example of ionic crystal. Now it is coordination number and radius ratio. You are familiar with coordination number. Now radius ratio is something related to the radius of the cation and radius of the anion. You can understand it very well that it is coming with ionic crystal. So after ionic crystals, we will do everything that is related to the radius, that is radius ratio, limiting radius ratio rule, calculating the limiting radius ratio for octahedral and tetrahedral void. All these things we will do, and then we will go to covalent crystals and metallic crystals. All these things we'll do afterwards. Now, you know what is coordination number. Coordination number means it is the immediate neighboring atoms. Suppose you want to find out the coordination number of the central atom, then you will calculate how many atoms are touching that particular atom. Similarly, in case of ionic solid, the number of ions of opposite charge present in the immediate surrounding of a given ion. Look at the definition, children, once again. In ionic solid, the number of ions of opposite charge present in the immediate surrounding of a given ion. Suppose this is the ion, this is a cation. I want to find out the coordination number of it. Suppose it is surrounded by 4 anion. Suppose it is surrounded by 4 anion. So the coordination number of this cation will be 4. So the number of ions of opposite charge present in the immediate surroundings of a given ion, I think you have understood now, is called the coordination number of that ion. That means the coordination number of the positive ion, that is a cation, is 4 because it is surrounded by 4 negative ions. Ions are held together by Coulombic force, which once again is inversely proportional to the distance between the ions. If the distance will be more, Coulombic force will be less. Or on other hand, you can say if the Coulombic force is less, the distance will be more. That means the ionic radius will be more. Thus, the size of ion or the radius is important in deciding the arrangement of the ions. If suppose the size of the cation is smaller, if the size of the cation is smaller, it can be surrounded by 4 anions. It can be surrounded by 4 anions. Suppose, I'm just taking it. Suppose the size of the cation is bigger, then it can be surrounded by 6 anions, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 can be accommodated. So in that case, they are suppose anion. So in that case, the coordination number of this cation is 6. In this case, the coordination number of this cation is 4. So thus, the size of ions, that is the radius. So the radius is bigger than this radius. So the radius is important in deciding the arrangement of the ions and the coordination number arising therefrom. I think it is clear to you. If the size is bigger, then coordination number will be more. If the size is smaller, then the coordination number will be less because the radius will be more and less. The ratio, now it is very important, the ratio of radius of cations to that of anions, R plus by R minus, is termed as radius ratio. Radius ratio is radius of cation by anion. Please don't forget that. Radius of cation by radius of anion. Radius ratio rule, or this is also known as limiting radius ratio. The radii of an octahedral void and a tetrahedral void are 0.414 and 0.225. This you have to remember. I will tell you how this is coming in the following slides. Just here in this slide, you just know that the radii of octahedral void is 0.414 and for a tetrahedral void is 0.225. That you all know that there is a void for octahedral and the tetrahedral and structure, and the void is, this is the dimension 0.414 and 0.225 times the radii of the constituent atoms. Suppose atom is there. Suppose this is the void and it is surrounded by the ions. Now, if the radius of this one, the radius of this atom, this ion, the void will be, this is a void, the void will be 0.414 times the radius of the constituent atom for octahedral void and 0.225 times the radius of the constituent atom in tetrahedral void. Now, this is a general rule that cations will fit in the void because the size of the cation is smaller than anion. So cations are generally smaller than anions. Therefore, in an ionic crystal, the general tendency is anion will surround the cations. That means cations is coming in the void place. The void will be covered by cation and it will be surrounded by anions. Thus, if in an ionic crystal radius ratio R plus and R minus, if this is coming is 0.414, then the cation will perfectly sit in tetrahedral void because the void space for the tetrahedral is 0.414. But there is a range. I am coming to that. But 0.414 is the exact void place for the octahedral void. So if the radius ratio R plus and R minus is coming 0.414, then the cation will perfectly sit in the octahedral void. And its coordinate of octahedral void, so its coordination number will be 6. Octahedral means 6, so it will be coordination number will be 6. By the same logic, if the radius ratio is coming 0.225, then the cation will sit perfectly in the void space of a tetrahedral void, because tetrahedral void, the exact void space is 0.225, and as it is tetrahedral, it will be surrounded by 4 atoms, so its coordination number will be 4. Higher the radius ratio, larger is the size of the cation. Okay, and greater is the coordination number. I said that there is a range. The perfect is 0.414 and 0.225, but there is a range. I am coming to that. This argument from the basis forms the basis of radius ratio rule or limiting radius concept, as we will discuss in the next following slides. Radius ratio rule or limiting radius ratio. You can see here that is this one, R plus and R minus, stable octahedral arrangement. This one is 0.414. Now this is the exact, see the cation sits in between the anions. There are 6 atoms. Now if the R plus and R minus is less than 0.414, it will become an unstable structure, unstable arrangement. See this one. Now it is little bit, the anions are far away from the cation. There is a gap in between. So in that case, what will happen? It will lead to stable tetrahedral arrangement, that is coordination number 4 with a value 0.225. Now come to this side, in the left hand side. If R plus and R minus is greater than 0.414, that means it is more than octahedral void, then there is a range I told you. So the cation size is increasing. You just see that cation size is increasing. Now if the cation size is increasing, it is also becoming an unstable arrangement, which leads to stable BCC arrangement, body structure, cubic, and whose coordination number is 8. So, what it is written, effect of radius ratio and coordination number, stable octahedral arrangement when R plus by R minus is 0.414, anions move farther to accommodate the larger cation when R plus and R minus is greater than 0.414, the cation does not fit in the octahedral void, then R plus by R minus is less than 0.414. This is known as limiting radius ratio. This is application of radius ratio rule for structural analysis and coordination number prediction. Now there is a table given. From this table, you can see that there is a range given for radius ratio. This one. For a particular shape, suppose it is a linear shape, the radius ratio is given 0 to 0.155, where the coordination number is 2 and the example is HF. Now for triangular planar, the radius ratio is coming within a range of 0.155 to 0.225. Now the coordination number is 3 because it is triangular planar. And the example, okay. You can write here B2 O3. This is the example. Now, the radius ratio is coming 0.155 to 0.225. Actually, 0.155 is the ideal value. But there is a range from 0.155 to 0.225, which is coming to triangular planar. Now, from 0.225 to 0.414, this one is coming for tetrahedral. Now, you know that tetrahedral, there are 4 atoms, so coordination number is 4. Now, 0.224 is the exact ideal value, ideal void for tetrahedral structure. The example is ZNS. Now, from 0.414 to 0.732 is for octahedral. Now, for octahedral, 0.414 is the ideal value. It is coordination number octahedral, so you know that the coordination number is 6. The example is NaCl. Now, this NaCl is in your portion. We will do in detail for this NaCl in the following slides. Now, for body-centered cubic, where the coordination number is 8, the radius ratio is 0.732 to 1. And this is the 0.732 is the ideal value. The example is CSCl. Application of radius ratio rule. Now consider zinc sulfide. Now zinc sulfide crystal, zinc is the cation and sulfide is the anion. So radius ratio is saying cation, radius of the cation by radius of the anion. So by doing this, these values are known. By doing this, we are getting 0.40. Now 0.40 is less than 0.414, which is the ideal value for the octahedral void. And as 0.40 is less than 0.414, naturally it will prefer tetrahedral hole in closed packed lattice of sulfide ion. So in ZnA, zinc sulfide, zinc cation will place in the tetrahedral hole. The same way, sodium ion will prefer octahedral hole in closed packed lattice of chloride ions. That means in case of the sodium chloride, sodium is the cation and chloride is the anion. Now, this value are the radius ratio. Now, by doing this, we are getting 0.52. Now, 0.52 is less than 0.732, but which is greater than 0.414. Now, as 0.52 is greater than 0.414 and this 0.414 to 0.732 is the range for the octahedral. This is the range for the octahedral. So, 0.52 is that means as the radius ratio is coming 0.52, so sodium ion prefer octahedral hole for sodium chloride crystal. I think you have understood. Now, the third one, with the larger cations such as cesium, the ratio increases beyond the limit of the coordination number 6. That means it is not coming under the octahedral void. It is crossing 0.732 also. So it is going, the coordination number is going towards 8. Okay, now so cesium ion now occupy the cubic site. Coordination number of cation increases to 8 in the lattice of chloride ion. I think you have a clear picture of radius ratio. If the radius ratio is less than 0.414, it will go to tetrahedral. If it is less than 0.732, it will go to octahedral. That means it has to come within a range 0.414 to 0.732 for octahedral hole. Now for calculation of limiting radius ratio for various structure. Let us first start with trigonal planar. The example I have taken boron tetroxide. Now it is having a trigonal planar structure. Now these bigger spheres are for anion and the smaller sphere, can you see the smaller sphere with the red one I have shown? This is for cation. It will take the place, the void space. The cation will take the void space. Now let us suppose the radius of anion is equals to r minus and radius of cation is equals to r plus. Okay, now join these two, the center of the cation to this much, that's C, and the center of the anion to the center of the cation. Center of the anion to the center of the cation. Okay, now this point is B. It is not visible. I am writing here again. This point is B. As I have joined these two lines, I am getting a right angle triangle. Now from this right angle triangle, this is your 30 degree. So cos 30 is equals to CD by BD. Now what is CD? CD is the radius of anion. So it is R minus divided by BD is the radius of the anion plus radius of the cation. So it is coming R plus R minus. You can write it within a bracket also. Okay. Now the cos 30, the value of cos 30 is root 3 by 2, which is coming to 0.866. The value of root 3 by 2 is 0.866. Now my radius ratio is radius of the cation by anion. But here I am getting radius of the anion by cation. So just reverse it. So 1 by 0.866 is equal to R plus R minus divided by R minus. Now the value of this one, 1 by 0.866 is coming 1.155, which is coming to R plus R minus divided by R minus. Now subtract 1 from both the sides. What will happen? 1.155 minus 1 is equals to R plus R minus by R minus 1. So this is coming 0.155, which is equals to R plus R minus R minus divided by R minus. R minus will get cancelled. So what I am getting, 0.155 is equals to R plus by R minus. Now R plus by R minus is nothing but the radius ratio. So for the trigonal planar, the radius ratio is coming to 0.155. Am I clear to you? Now, calculation of limiting radius ratio of an octahedral structure. Now you can see the figure. The octahedral structure is shown. 4 anions are visible, A, B, C, D, and inside that you can see a very small sphere. This is your cation. Now from the right angle triangle ECD, this is your E. This is E. In this ECD is a right angle triangle. From there, CD is equals to root over EC square plus ED square. Now let us think that radius of cation is equals to small r and radius of anion is equals to capital R. So from here you can see that CD, that means this one, CD is coming to R plus R, which is equals to 2R, that I have written here. And EC or CED, that means CE or ED, which is coming to, see, up to this much it is for anion, that is capital R, and after that up to this much is the radius for cation, so that is small r. So it is coming R plus R. Now from there put the value 2r is equals to r plus r whole square plus r plus r whole square. So it is coming 2r is equals to root 2r. From there if you will calculate, r is coming to root 2 minus 1 by r. Now r by r. Now r is the radius of the cation and this is radius of the anion. So cation by anion is a radius ratio which is nothing but radius ratio, which is coming to 0.414. So R is equals to 0.414 R. I told you that I will tell you in the following slides. That slide I told you how it is coming to the 0.414 times of the radius of the anion. Now like this it is coming. Radius of the cation is equals to 0.414 times the radius of the anion for the octahedral structure. Now the limiting radius for tetrahedral structure, we have taken the example of zinc sulfide. Now central cation is in red color. This is in the void created by 4 gray anions which are tetrahedrally oriented. Now for calculating the limiting radius, only 2 are shown. Now the distance from the center of the tetrahedron to the corner, that means from here to here, from here to here, up to this much, up to this much. The distance from the center of the tetrahedron to the corner from here to up to this much. It is coming r plus and r minus, because the radius of the cation we have taken r plus and radius of the anion we have taken r minus. So this distance is coming r plus and r minus. R plus plus r minus. We have written that. Now anion center to center distance, that means from this corner to this corner. Anion center to center. It is coming r minus plus r minus. So that is 2r minus. Now the tetrahedral angle theta, that means this full angle. This full angle. Theta, we have taken it as theta. Now this theta is equal to 109.5 degree. This is angle for tetrahedral, that is known. 109.5 degree. Now suppose I want to find out the radius ratio, then just join this line. So the angle is coming now theta by 2. The angle is coming theta by 2. So take sine theta by 2. Sine theta by 2 is equals to P by H. Sine theta by 2 is equals to P by H. Now what is P? P is equals to this r minus from here to here. This is P. So that is r minus by, this is your H. Now H, what are the things there? In H means it is the radius of the cation plus radius of the anion. So it is coming r plus plus r minus. Okay, now I am getting this. Now sin theta by 2 means 109.5 by 2, which is coming to 54.7. Now see that I am just doing the calculation here. 1 by sine 54.57 degree is equals to r plus plus r minus divided by r minus. Now the value of this thing is coming, the value of 1 by sine 54.7 degree is coming your 1.225. This is equals to r plus plus r minus by r minus. Just subtract 1 from both the side. 1.225 minus 1 is equals to, this is r plus plus r minus by r minus minus 1. Now if you do that, then it is coming 0.225 is equals to r plus plus r minus minus r minus by r minus. This r minus gets cancelled. So 0.225 is equals to r plus by R minus, and R plus and R minus is nothing but the radius ratio. So radius ratio for the tetrahedral structure is coming 0.225. Clear? Is it clear to you? Now this is the structure for sodium chloride, rock salt structure. Cl minus is shown by blue and Na plus is shown by green color. Now there's a close packing structure, and just see that they are adjusted them among themselves in this way. The elaborate structure I'm coming for in the following slides. Now structure of sodium chloride is, just you can see the structure here. They are adjusting themselves in this manner. Now sodium ion 11 at proton and 11 electron, you know that. So naturally it will lose one electron. Chlorine is having 17 electrons, so it will take one from here, and there it is becoming 10, and it is becoming 11, 18, and they are forming a structure in this way. Okay. Now the structure of sodium chloride. The structure of sodium chloride is important from the exam point of view. This is coming in your ISC exam. Even the diagram is also coming. What type of arrangement is there? What is the unit cell present? What is the coordination number of the sodium and the chloride ion? All these things are coming in the exam. So please listen to me carefully. Now here the blue one represents sodium and the saffron or the red is representing chloride ion. Now in this structure, in the figure, you can see that the chloride ions are present at the corners and the face centers of a cubic unit cell. See that in every corner there are, chloride ion. You can see the chloride ion present, and in the center of the face also, this one, center of the face also, the chloride ion are present. While sodium ions are present at the edge centers. Now in a cube there are 12 edges. Just think about a room. Floor there are 4 edges, roof there are 4 edges, and 4 corners. That means the 4 pillars. So there are 12 edges. Now in 12 edges, 12 sodium ions are present, and 1 is present in the body also, body center. Okay. Now it has a face-centered cubic. This is very important. It has a face-centered cubic arrangement and also termed as cubic close packing, CCP. Now if you will find out the radius ratio that already I shown you, it is coming to 0.525. Now 0.525 is greater than 0.414. So it is an octahedral arrangement. It is an octahedral arrangement, but it is not the ideal octahedral arrangement. The perfect octahedral void is of 0.414, but there is a range I told you, 0.732 up to. So it is coming in between these two. This is an octahedral arrangement. Now each sodium ion is surrounded by 6 chloride ion. Just take any one. This one I am taking, the sodium ion. This is the sodium ion. Now these two are the chloride atoms, chloride ions I have taken from another cube. So this sodium ion is surrounded by, you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chloride ion. So its coordination number is 6. Now come to chloride ion. See, in this chloride ion, it is also just surrounded by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sodium ion. So chloride ion is also surrounded by 6 sodium ion. So we can see that in the structure of sodium chloride, one chloride ion is surrounded by 6 sodium ion, and 1 sodium ion is also surrounded by 6 chloride ion. So their atom coordination number for sodium is also 6, for chloride is also 6. A unit cell of sodium chloride has 4 Na plus and 4 Cl minus ion, and that will be explained in the next slide. See this slide. In this slide, the structure of sodium chloride is shown here, and in this slide you can understand it that the unit cell of sodium chloride, 8 chloride ion are present at the corners, in 8 corners. See this one, this one, this one, this one, 4 below, like that. 8 corners, 8 chloride ions are present. Now 8 corners into 1 by 8 plus 6 are at the 6 faces, so their contribution is half, so total is 4. In the unit cell, 12 sodium ions are present at the 8th center and 1 in the body center. So 8th center means their contribution 12 wedges into 1/4 and at 1 at the body center, so total is 4. That means in 1 unit cubic cell, there are 4 chloride ions and 4 sodium ions. Now covalent solids. It is also known as atomic or network solid. In covalent solids, this is coming in the exam. Write one example of network solid. Now in covalent solids, the constituent particles are atoms. These may be of same element or different elements having similar electronegativities. Covalent bonding, O2, oxygen atom, chloride atom, like that. The interatomic bonding is covalent in nature. The covalent bond arrangement in 3-dimensional, forming a giant interlocking structure. This type of solids are also called network solid. Very, very important. The example are diamond, graphite, silicon carbide, etc. Now diamond is also in your portion, graphite is also in your portion. Characteristics of covalent solids. Atomic or network solids. These are usually very hard due to presence of strong covalent bonds. These have very high melting points. These all you know about. They have high heat of fusion. They are poor conductors of heat and electricity because they are covalently bonded. Now structure of diamond. This is the structure. You are very much familiar with this structure. Now diamond poses a 3-dimensional network of carbon atoms joined together. Each carbon atom of diamond is sp3 hybridized. sp3 hybridized and tetrahedrally connected like this. This is the structure, tetrahedrally. 4 atoms, 1 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tetrahedrally connected. Carbon-carbon bond length is 154 pm and carbon-carbon-carbon bond angle is 109.9 degree 28 minutes. Due to strong covalent bond, the network is very hard and diamond poses high heat, high melting point. Okay, that is 3843 Kelvin. This much is enough. Properties of diamond. It is purest and high density allotrope of carbon, whose density is 3.51 gram per centimeter cube. It is the hardest natural substance, you know about it. Its melting point is 3843 Kelvin. It's insoluble in all solvent. It is transparent and poses high refractive index that you all know, that is 2.45. It's a bad conductor of electricity as there is no unpaired or free electron because all are tetrahedrally bonded. It's chemically inert to almost all acids, alkali and salts. It is very precious, expensive and used as jewelry. Now the structure of graphite. Graphite is an allotrope of carbon. It is soft and good conductor of electricity. It has a layer structure where each carbon atom in a layer is covalently bonded to 3 of its neighboring carbon atom in the same layer. See, if you take this carbon atom is joined with this carbon atom with this carbon atom and with this carbon atom. So each carbon atom in a layer is joined with 3 carbon atom and they join by sp2 hybridization. In diamond it is sp3 hybridization. In graphite it is sp2 hybridization and their carbon-carbon bond length is 141.5 picometer and their bond angle, carbon-carbon bond angle is 120 degree and the distance between the 2 layers is 340 picometer. The 4th valence electron in carbon, the 4th valence electron of each atom is available in different layers and they are free to move. 3 are bonded, so 1 is free. They are free to move about. That makes the graphite a good conductor of electricity. And the layers are joined by weak van der Waals force between the layers. Okay, and that is why they can slide over each other, which makes the graphite a soft solid and a good solid lubricant. If you know up to this much, that is enough. Next is the properties of graphite. It is a dark grey substance with metallic luster. You all know about it. We are using it in a pencil lead. It has a layered structure. Layers are held by weak van der Waals force. Each layer is composed of planar hexagonal ring of carbon atom bonded through, this is important, sp2 hybridization. Carbon-carbon bond length within the layer is 141.5 picometer. It is very soft and feels greasy when touched due to the layered structure. It is a good conductor of electricity due to the free unpaired electron that is always moving available with every carbon atom in each layer. It is not attracted by dilute acid, alkali and chlorine. Uses of graphite. It is used in making electrodes. That is a very big use of graphite. Making electrode, inert electrode we are making from graphite and carbon arc. It is used for machine working at high temperature. It is used for making lead pencils. Powder graphite is mixed with clay and pressed into sticks which are used in pencils. It is used for making stove polish and paints. It is used as a moderator in atomic reactor. Now metallic solids. Crystalline solids in which metal atoms are held together by metallic bond are known as metallic solids. In metallic solids, constituent units are positive ion, that is kernels, immersed in a sea of delocalized mobile electrons. These you have read in atomic structure in standard 11, metallic bond. The positive ion kernels immersed in a sea of delocalized mobile electrons. These electrons are not attached to a particular kernel and are free to move around like a gas molecules, the electrons. Every kernel may be attracted by multiple delocalized carbon clouds. Okay, so in the next slide, I will just tell you about the electron sea or electron gas theory. Now, this already you have read in standard 11 in atomic structure. Just a recapitulation of that. Now, valence electrons in atoms are loosely bound. Therefore, they can move from one atom, that is kernel, to another. Due to this mobility, metals can conduct electricity. The positively charged portion of the metal atom, that is kernel, is surrounded by electrons. You can see in the figure. In such a way that these electrons serve as atmosphere of distributed charges. The positively charged particles are immersed in it, in the bed of the electron. These are the electrons. These are the electrons. The positive charges are embedded on that. Such an atmosphere is called electron gas or sea. Sea of electron. We are calling it as sea of electron. Metallic bonding. Three forces are responsible for metallic bond. What are the three forces? The force of attraction between the electron and the metal ions. Now, this is the force of attraction, electron gas and the metal ions. Second is force of repulsion between the positively charged ions. Kernels. Force of repulsion between the delocalized electron clouds. They will also have some repulsion in between them. So all these three forces counterbalance each other and metal atom is neutral as a whole. Characteristics of metallic solid. They vary from very soft to very hard. The hardness of metal depends upon the strength of bond in it. They may have low as well as high melting points. They have moderately heat of fusion. They possess bright luster, that is known as metallic luster. They are malleable and ductile. They are good conductors of heat and electricity. These all are the characteristics of metals. Now the crystal structure of some of the metals, we are having some of the examples that we have taken. Zinc, magnesium, cadmium. They are having your close packed hexagonal structure like this. Okay. Now aluminum, copper, silver. They are having face centered cubic. Sometimes it is asked what type of structure is present in copper. So you will write FCC structure. So these are the type. This is the type FCC structure. And chromium, tungsten, iron, they are having BCC structure and like this in all the corners and inside the body one. This is FCC means all the corners and in the faces one, and this is your hexagonal. That is upper 6, lower 6 and in between 3. Now with this I am ending this lecture. Please go through the lecture properly. I think everything will be clear to you. And from this lecture, some questions are coming from your ICSE board exam. So please go through it properly. In the next lecture, we shall study crystal defects.